Now, I want to share the idea that ties all of this together. We think of insurance as a financial product, a contract, a line item in a budget. But insurance is something much more fundamental than that. Insurance is the infrastructure of resilience. It is a system that allows individuals, families, and businesses to take risks, to start companies, to buy homes, to raise children, to innovate, knowing that if something goes catastrophically wrong, they will not lose everything. It is, at its core, a collective promise that society makes to itself. When that promise is broken by delay, by denial, by opacity, by fraud, it does not just harm the individual, it erodes the foundation of economic participation itself. AI is not just making insurance more efficient. AI is making the promise more reliable, more transparent, more equitable. I call it the intelligent protection layer. A living, learning, always on system that wraps around the customer, understanding their life, anticipating their needs, protecting them proactively, and responding instantly when things go wrong. Not a policy sitting in a drawer, a partner that shows up. Insurance was always a promise. AI is finally making sure that promise is kept. I want to close with a story. A few years into my work, I was shown a case file. A family had a homeowner's claim after a pipe burst and flooded their basement. $40,000 in damage, every bit of it covered under their policy. The claim took 11 months to resolve, not because of fraud, not because of complexity, just because of paperwork, because of a document that was submitted to the wrong department, because of a review process that moved at a pace of a different century. During those 11 months, the family lived in a home with a destroyed basement. Their children played around the damage. They couldn't afford the remediation out of pocket while they waited. An AI-powered claim system, properly designed, would have resolved that claim in days. I kept that family in the back of my mind. Every fraud detection model I built, every claims automation system, every intelligent advisory framework, I built it knowing that somewhere right now there is a family waiting. They should not have to wait anymore. I want to leave you with this. The insurance industry touches every American life, every homeowner, every driver, every business owner, and every parent. It is woven into the fabric of how the society manages risk and absorbs loss. And for most of this history, that industry has asked people to trust a promise it was not always equipped to keep. AI changes that. Intelligent claims automation that resolves a loss in hours, not months. Fraud detection that protects honest policyholders without punishing them for the sins of bad actors. Policy systems that explain themselves in plain language. Agentic advisors that protect you proactively before you ever have to call. My field of endeavor is building the intelligent protection layer, making insurance responsive, making it transparent, making it worthy that millions of people trust in it every single day. The promise of insurance has always been simple. We will be there when it matters the most. AI is how we finally mean it. Thank you. Insurance was always a promise. AI is finally making sure that promise is kept. I want you to think about the worst day of your life. Not a bad day, the worst day. Maybe it was a car accident, a house fire, a medical diagnosis that came out of nowhere, a flood that took everything you would spend years building. Now, I want you to remember what happened next. You reached for the one thing you had been paying for month after month, year after year, precisely for this moment. Your insurance policy. And then the forms, the whole music, the adjuster who called once and never called back. The claim that was under review, the letter that arrived 6 weeks later explaining why a portion of your loss was not covered under Section 14, Clause B, Subsection 4. On the worst day of your life, the system that was supposed to catch you let you fall. That is not a personal failure, that is not a design failure, and it is one I have dedicated my career to fixing. I came to the insurance industry with a question that wouldn't leave me alone. Here is an industry that exists for one reason: to be there when things go wrong, to protect people, to make them whole, to stand between ordinary families and catastrophe. And yet, the most common experience people have with their insurance company is frustration, confusion, delay, denial. How could a system built entirely around protecting people feel so indifferent to people? The answer I discovered was not bad intentions. The answer was broken systems, processes designed in an era before the tools existed to do better, legacy infrastructure that had never been rebuilt for the customer, and complexity so deep that even the people inside it struggled to navigate it. What if artificial intelligence, truly intelligent, autonomous, customer first AI could rebuild those systems from the inside out? That question became the work of my career, spanning AI powered claims, intelligent policy design, fraud detection, risk assessment, identity protection, and agentic AI advisory systems, always pointed at the same target: making insurance work the way it was always supposed to. Let me tell you what is actually at stake here, because this is not a story about technology, this is a story about people at their most vulnerable. The domain, the claim that should have been paid. Every year in the United States, insurance companies process over 350 million claims. Of those, a significant number are delayed for weeks or months, not because of fraud, not because of insufficient coverage, but because of process failures. Missing documents, missing communications between the systems, human reviews that back up like a traffic in a bottleneck. Behind every delayed claim is a person who is waiting, a family that cannot repair their roof, a business that cannot reopen, a hospital bill sitting on a kitchen table while someone waits to find out if they have to sell their car to pay it. A delayed claim is not just an inconvenience. For millions of Americans, it is a crisis. The fraud that costs everyone. Insurance fraud costs the American economy more than $80 billion a year. That number is not abstract. It flows directly into the premiums every honest policyholder pays. It is a hidden tax on every family that has ever filed a fraudulent claim in their life. And the traditional tools for detecting it, rule-based systems, manual audits, after-the-fact investigations, are fighting a 21st century problem with 20th century methods. The fraudsters have gotten smarter. The detection system have not kept the pace until now. The customer who was never truly served. Here is a fact that has always troubled me deeply. Most people do not understand their own insurance policies. Not because they aren't intelligent, because the policies were never designed to be understood. They were designed to be sold. Dense language, buried exclusions, coverage gaps that only become visible at the exact moment you need coverage most. The most consequential document in many people's financial lives is the one they have never actually read and would struggle to understand if they did. The solution? Here it is. So what does AI transformed insurance actually look like? Let me walk you through it. First, we taught AI to process claims the way a great adjuster would do in minutes, not months. Machine learning models trained on millions of real claims can now intake, assess, and resolve straightforward claims in a fraction of time it takes a traditional workflow. Document verification, coverage matching, damage estimation, fraud screening, all happening simultaneously in the background before a human reviewer ever touches your file. For the policyholder, that means a call on Monday and a resolution by Wednesday, not a call on Monday and a letter 6 weeks later. Second, we built fraud detection that works like a nervous system, not a checkpoint. Traditional fraud detection asks, does this claim match a known pattern fraud? AI-powered detection asks a different question. Does this claim match what we know about the specific customer at this specific moment, given everything we know about how real claims behave? Deep learning models can flag anomalies that no rule would catch. A claim filed at an unusual time, a repair estimate that diverges from market data, a pattern of small claims across a network of related policyholders. The system sees what the human eye misses at a scale and speed no team would match. Third, we gave customers a policy they can actually understand. AI-powered tools can now translate the language of insurance into plain English in real time. They can run predictive policy reviews that flag coverage gaps before they become claim denials. They can generate personalized risk assessments and recommend adjustments based on how a customer's life is actually changing. The result is a customer who knows what they have, who knows what they are protected against, and who is not blindsided when the moment of truth arrives. Fourth, we deployed agentic AI as an advisor in your corner. Agentic AI autonomous systems capable of reasoning, planning, and taking action across multiple processes is now the most powerful tool in the insurance transformation toolkit. Imagine an AI that monitors your identity for theft proactively, continuously in real time, that flags a suspicious address change on your credit file at 3 a.m. and initiates a dispute resolution process before you even wake up. Imagine an AI that knows you are approaching a life transition, a new home, a new child, a new business, and reaches out proactively with tailored recommendation coverages before you realize you need them. Not reactive, not transactional, genuinely proactive. An intelligent partner that works for you even when you're not thinking about insurance at all. Now, I want to share the idea that all of this together.